Hey guys, grace and peace, saints. Welcome to Lux Avenue, the podcast. And my name is Aisha. I go by AJ. Thank you for tuning in. If you're viewing via Facebook, make sure you share this video to your timeline. If you're viewing from YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to this channel for one if you haven't already and like this video and send this video link to your friends and family. Okay. Um, and I need to let y'all, or I need y'all to let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me okay? Is the audio a little better today? I still, as you can see, well, y'all don't know what my setup will look like, but it's not together yet. But it probably won't be in my official studio until like January. But until then, we're going to just rock it out and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Excuse me. And my voice is a little shot. I rebuke the sickness. I am not sick, but my throat is just acting weird. So there's that. But again, welcome to Lux Avenue, the podcast. We are live every single Monday, unless there's a holiday or I'm away on vacation or whatever the case may be. Okay. Um, okay. Great. So you guys can hear me. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. As you can tell by the title, this is season one, episode four. And we're just gonna do a part two of last week, actually. We're gonna do a part two of last week and talk more about what is mental health and just kind of get into some ways um of coping, of how not to cope, and just continue where we left off last week. Sounds good? Cool beans. So, excuse me. So again, just a little recap from last week. We kind of discussed what mental health is, right? Like the actual definition. And the actual definition, um, it is pertaining to emotional, psychological, and social well being, influencing cognition, perception, and behavior. And it also determines how an individual handles stress, interpersonal relationships, and decision living. So, that is the official um, definition of what is mental health. However, like I said, my definition, which is just plain terms, is the condition of our mental capacity to be able to handle life's ups and downs. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. So, I know last week we kind of touched on why mental health was so important, and it's literally in that definition that I read off earlier. It determines how an individual handles the situations, trials, ups and downs of life. That's why mental health is so important. It's our reaction, or it determines our reaction to life, basically, right? So, said, with that being said, what I wanted to continue with tonight is, excuse me, basically, let's kind of break down the mental health statuses, right? Because there's two things within mental health. You can have either mental illness or you can have mental wellness, right? So those are the two things within mental health. You can either be or have mental illness or mental wellness. And a lot of us, without even recognizing, a lot of us even without even um, noticing or being aware, that a lot of us have a mental illness. We do. Anxiety is a mental illness. Depression is a mental illness. And then you have the more extreme ones, which is like bipolar, schizophrenia, and all that other stuff. And let me go by saying this: I am in no way, shape, or form a doctor, therapist, anything like that. I can only speak off what I've researched, what I've gone through, and what I've come out of, right? So, this is in no way giving you any medical advice or anything like that. Nope, just my testimony, hopefully to help you come out, okay? Hopefully my testimony helps you overcome. So yeah, like I said, there's two um sides to mental health, right? You can either have a mental illness or be in mental illness, or you can have mental wellness. A lot, like I said, a lot of us unaware we actually have mental illnesses. But what I want to strive through Lux Avenue, the podcast, is to help us get from mental illness to mental wellness. Okay, let's go from mental illness to mental wellness. And tonight we're going to talk about a little bit, just a little piece. We're going to talk about some things to help us transition and transform from that mental illness to mental wellness. The two that I've personally gone through myself is anxiety and depression. Um, and like I said, I've always knew that I dealt with something concerning my mind, but I never understood exactly what anxiety and depression was until I'd say within the last few years. Like I've always heard of it, but not until I actually uh, was aware that I was going through it, I realized what I was going through. And let's talk about anxiety. It's basically anxiety kind of, it's hard to explain if you've never dealt with it, honestly. It's being anxious and worry of the future for me. At least for me it is. Um or something, sometimes it's not even being worried about the future, it's just being anxious and worried about what's going on in the now and not knowing how to control it or how to handle it or anything like that, right? You just get this overwhelming feeling where, like I just said, you feel very overwhelmed, right? Um and how I learned to cope through that was, for one, I know last week we talked about scriptures because, hello, Lux Avenue is all about mental health and faith. So we ain't gonna leave Jesus out of this, okay? Last week we talked about scriptures that uh, encourage us and should remind us that, for one of the scriptures said, God has not given us a spirit of fear, right? God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. A sound mind. That's just one of them. What was the some more that I did? Let me pull them up real quick. Give me just a second, guys. Let's see. So some more that I read off there. First Peter 5:7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. I know, it kind of sounds plain, it kind of sounds cliche, or whatever the case may be. Grace and peace, y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. Share this video. Um, but literally, God cares for us so much that He welcomes taking on the burden of our worries, of our cares. And that in itself is just an encouragement. Because you got friends that say, "Hey, I'm here for you. Whenever you need me, call me, beat me if you want to reach me, Kim Possible." Okay, but a lot of people and a lot of people say that, and they may think they mean it, but when the time comes, like when the time comes down to it, okay, nowhere to be found, or either too busy, unavailable, and no shade to what they have going on in their lives, right? Everybody goes through stuff. However, we have to be careful with promising someone that we're going to be there, you know, through thick and thin, through ups and downs. We're going to be there whenever we need, they need us and everything like that. We have to be careful when we say that to people because some people take that to heart, right? Some people take that to heart. So, um, if we know that we're not capable of being fully giving ourselves to our friends at a certain time or whatever the case may be, if we know that our schedules are not uh fit to accommodate, people that deal with mental illness as far as anxiety and depression and everything like that, it's okay to be like, hey, I don't know what you're going through. I'm very sorry that you're going through this. I will pray for you. However, I don't want to promise you that I can be there for you. And I'd rather not promise you that and over deliver and maybe possibly actually be there for you than to over promise and under deliver. Y'all heard that before, right? Like I'd rather say, hey, I may not can contribute to or contribute all my time to you or anything like that, but I'm definitely praying for you. I'll try my best to be there for you. I'd rather you say that than to say, hey, I'm here for you whenever you need me and everything like that, and then not show up. Just as simple as that, right? So we got to be careful how we offer ourselves to people, which is something I had to learn for myself too. Because baby, me having 3 children, all 5 and under, time is slipping on away from me. You hear me? So, like, I've always been the type of person to be like, hey, I'm here whenever you need me. And even though sometimes I may even deliver on that, I have to give myself some grace too. To be like, hey, Aisha, I know you've promised this person, yourself, your time, your care, your concern, but make sure that you take some time for yourself too. Take some time for yourself too, so that you can still be able to contribute to those people that you love, those people that you care about. That's something that I'm actually still learning. So we're in this together. Okay. Like I said, I am no professional. I am no somebody that's made it, nothing like that. I'm literally sharing my journey with you guys so we can all go through and come out, right? Essentially. So yeah, just make sure we have to be very honest with ourselves, not only with ourselves, but with other people as well. So that's one thing. Like I said, I'm still learning today on how to cope is not only being honest to people, but also recognizing that same mentality or that same truth for people. Like I'm not expecting people with children or spouses or business endeavors or ministry and everything. I'm not expecting you to drop everything and run to my rescue, right? That's what we have a God for. That's what we have a Lord and Savior for. He's the one that wants us to bring our cares and bring our worries. He welcomes that. That's what we have that for. We have, if you have people that do that for you, that is amazing. That is amazing. But we can't expect people to just be dropping their lives, even though they do. What I'm saying is we can't expect them to do it. Um, because if it doesn't happen for whatever reason they have, valid or not, we can't get mad at that. They're only human. That's why we have a God that literally says in First Peter 5:7, give all your worries and cares to him, for he cares about you. All right. So that's that. And just a few more things I wanted to talk about tonight. How we're transforming or transitioning from mental illness to mental wellness, right? Um, how can I say this and not offend the saints? Because some saints are just, oof. But God and therapy together are okay. They are perfectly okay. Because guess what? God is the source, right? Who gives us resources to be efficient in life. And guess what? Therapy is one of those resources, okay? Just because, and I'm just going to use myself as an example, nothing like, not even a real true story, or it could be, you never know. But just saying, just because I go to the altar for prayer and then turn around and go to therapy right after does not mean God was not enough. It does not mean that. You can absolutely be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and go to therapy. It is not saying that God is enough. It is simply saying, God, you gave me this resource to help me sort out these things that I'm dealing with, and I'm gonna use it. Because if you're saying therapy is saying God is not enough, then what is money? Money is a resource, right? And we all use that, right? Exactly. Um what else can I use? What is our jobs? I mean, that still kind of ties into money, but still, what is groceries? God is enough. He is. But he also provides resources for us to fulfill the efficiency of life. Just as simple as that. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with therapy. Um, and therapy is a great way to strengthen your mental health. Okay. Um, you know, I never understood why therapy was looked down upon, because to me, anybody that's wanting to better themselves, um, and has the humbleness to ask for help, like, kudos to you. A lot of us have listen, a lot of us deal with pride. Pride doesn't always isn't always this big extreme thing, right? But a lot of us deal with pride so much that we don't even recognize it's in the small things too. You not asking people for help because you think, "Oh, I got it. I don't need help." I if you always asking for help, you're beneath me or something of that nature. That is the spirit of pride. And me, Aisha, AJ, your sis, wants you to be delivered today. And I keep telling y'all, I can't tell y'all nothing I ain't went through. I dealt with the spirit of pride too. Not to say that I look down on people, um, you know, for doing this, but I was the type of person to be like, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't need therapy. Like, what do you mean? I'm okay. I'm cool. In reality, no sis, you're not. Clearly, you're not. And 2022, the year 2022 has proved that. Has proven that, okay? So I thank God for the therapist that I worked with this year. She, baby, helped me to see some things. And honestly, that I already knew but didn't want to face. She made me face them, and I'm glad. And so did God. He made me face some things about myself that I needed to change, and I'm glad. I'm grateful. Once I put that pride aside, got delivered from the spirit of pride, once I, tapped in for real, be like, okay, sis, if you want to do better, you can't do this on your own. That's why God gave us community. whether it's through your group of friends, through your church, through family, blood or not. God gave us community because He knows we cannot go through life by ourselves. So take advantage. Take advantage. And I see one of my comments says, people want to rely on family because they can't afford the expenses of therapy. Listen, I understand that. I definitely do. But here's my thing, we can't just look and say, okay, therapy is going to cost. It's going to cost regardless. There's no such thing as free therapy unless you're going to family or something like that, right? But there are means you have to do your I can't even talk tonight. You have to do your due diligence in finding the means to afford the type of help you need, right? There should be programs in your church, not to, specifically pay for a therapy session, but they may have small groups. Small groups is therapy too. It doesn't have to be, me sitting in a little office and a couch right here for you to lay on and me with my notepad taking notes and telling you what's wrong with you. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that. Therapy is also small groups within your church. It's also you know, um I meant my train of thought is gone. But it doesn't have to be, this big old $15,000 bill type of thing. You know what I mean? There are like insurance. If you have insurance, whether it's through your job, through the state, or whatever it is, insurance pays for therapy sessions. They absolutely do. Check with your insurance. Um, there are ways to get around, not necessarily get around paying for it, but there are ways to get the type of therapy that you need. You just have to be humble enough, be willing to go out there and look for it. Honestly, go out there and look for it. Don't assume that, oh, I can't afford it, so I'm not going to do it. Mm-mm. And I'm going to be honest, that's the enemy trying to talk you out of it. That's the enemy trying to talk you out of it. No, because I'm gonna be honest, that was my excuse for a while. Oh, how am I gonna pay for therapy? How, like, I'm thinking it's like I said, it's gonna be like this big old 15 or 3,000, $5,000 bill. Baby, I ain't got time for that. Or I don't want to spend my money on that. Even if I did have it. I'm like, I don't want to spend my money on that. But once I humbled myself and I came to realize, hey sis, you really need therapy. You really need some help. You can't do this by yourself, right? Once I came to that realization, God gave me the discernment and the wisdom, gave me the wisdom to say, um, or to look for other resources or to look for the means to get it done. Because if he, like I said, God is the source. He gives us resources. We have access to the resources that He provides. We just have to find them. We have to find them. We have to do our due diligence and find them, right? So that's that. Now, what I really, really, really want to touch on tonight before we close, it's not going to be, I won't be before you long, but what I really, really want to touch on is ways not to cope, right? Ways that are not beneficial from your transitions from illness to wellness. Okay, everybody breathe in and breathe out. I am not your dare teacher. Y'all remember Dare and the little lion back in school? I'm not your dare teacher. However, drugs and alcohol are not the ways to cope with mental illness. As a matter of fact, they don't do anything but make it worse. Makes it worse. It does. It does nothing to make it worse because, for one, you're not dealing with the actual issue. You're not dealing with the root of the issue. You're only submitting to this temporary fix that only takes away the thought for what, a couple of hours, maybe a day or two, and then that problem still exists after that high, after your intoxication goes away. That problem still exists. So it's like you're torturing yourself. To be honest, you're torturing yourself. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Right? Why would you want to resort to temporary fixes where you can just meet the problem head on, be aware of the problem, know how to go about, you know, I'll keep want to say fix it, but I don't want to use that word, but know how to deal with it. The problem, and here's something that I learned through somebody's pastor. I don't know if it was mine's or somebody on YouTube, but a lot of the times the problem may not go away, depending on what it is, right? The problem may not go away, but God will get you through it, or will be there with you to handle it while you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you guys? Like, let's say, what can I say for instance? Um, let's say you have a physical ailment, right? Like you're hurt or something. Yes, God has all the power to heal you. Yes, he does. However, sometimes he'll allow you to go through that pain, through that ailment, but he'll also be there with you to um like I said, he won't take the pain away. Sometimes he'll just make sure you're there, or he's there with you to be give you peace within it. Does that make sense? He'll give you peace within it, or he'll give you strength within it. So yeah, you may be going through a trial or whatever, or you may be, like, back to my example, you may, I don't know, let's say you hurt your back or you hurt your ankle. He may not take that pain away right away, but he'll give you peace within us, be like, Lord, I only sprained my ankle, I only broke my ankle. I'm still alive. I'm still alive, right? Or Lord, I'm going through this trial, I'm going through this tribulation, but um I still have food on the table, right? I still have a roof over my head. You know, I still um I'm still alive. I'm alive to be going through it, to be honest. I'm alive to be going through it. So sometimes, like I said, I don't know who I got this from. I don't know if it's my pastor or somebody else. But like I said, God won't always, depending on the situation, depending on what it is, God won't always take away the situation. He'll make sure that you are um, accompanied by Him within it. And matter of fact, um, maybe it was Darius Daniels. I don't know if y'all don't watch Darius Daniels. I encourage y'all to. He's really good. Change Church. Shout out to them. Um, what was the script or the story he used? I want to say it was the story where Jesus um was on a boat with his disciples, right? And then um the boat and everything, or the a storm started raging, right? He didn't stop the storm. And matter of fact, brother was asleep. And it's like, Lord, or not, they didn't call him Lord, but Jesus, you over here just sleeping in heavenly peace, and we over here rocking and shaking in this in these waves over here. You gonna help? You gonna wake up? And Jesus was like, I'm so sorry, y'all. But Jesus didn't stop the storm from happening. He can, but he didn't stop the storm from happening. He was there with them to get them through the storm. So, with that being said, like I said, what I wanted to focus on the last few minutes here was ways of not coping, which is do not, do not. I encourage everyone listening, do not turn to drugs, alcohol, um, even sex. You know, we're hot on this podcast, honest, open, and transparent. Hello. Um, what else? That whatever is non-beneficial to you in real life, because those things are not in a way of coping. No, they're not. Like I said, it only makes things worse because it's only a temporary fix. You want to deal with this thing. You want to know, okay, God, how can I get through this thing for real? To where I don't have to keep coming back to it. How can I get through it? And like I said, those ways are thinking on those scriptures that encourage us. The one that I absolutely love is First Peter 5:7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares for you. Excuse me. Like I said, God welcomes us to bring our cares and burdens and worries, anxieties, depressions, whatever the case may be. He welcomes us to bring them to Him, so that He can dwell within us, give us peace, because He is the Prince of Peace. Hello. He welcomes us to bring our troubles, all of that to Him because He cares for us that much. Hello. John 3:16. God so loved the world, us in the world, that He gave His only begotten Son. I'm sorry. Me, I don't love the world that much that I'm about to kill my child to say no, 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 no. Okay. That's why I listen. I don't understand why people be wanting to take control and stuff. Let God have his way. Okay. God, you be God. I don't know all these little false gods claiming to be you and all that. No, sir. Because I'm not, I don't have that capacity. I don't have the capacity to want to take all these burdens and stuff from people, or to love the world so much that I give my child that I birthed. Like, I know God's not, woman, and He didn't physically birth them, but I'm saying for me, I'm glad I'm not God. Okay, I'm glad God is not like man. Basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, and you should be too, because guess what? He's not like man. He He's the only one able to take the cares of the world. Do y'all know how many people live on Earth? I don't. It's a couple billion, I'm sure. But He takes the cares of this world and welcomes them in exchange for peace, salvation, all of that. It's okay to go to mom and them, pop and them, sister friend, bro. It's okay to go to all of them. Don't depend on them though. Do not depend on them. Not to say that they're in the wrong or anything like that, but just do not depend on man to help you cope with um trials and tribulations or whatever it may be. The one you can absolutely depend on without hesitation, without any doubt, is the one that created you. The one that created you, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about on this episode. Because I was getting the reason why I made this a part two from last week is because I was getting quite a few messages or whatnot, um, wanting to elaborate more on my thought on mental health. And like I said, I am in no way, shape, or form a doctor, therapist, licensed, nothing. Okay. I am just a humble servant who has gone through some things and can tell y'all my journey, my testimony to help y'all get through, right? So that is that. And for y'all that are still joining in with me, I thank y'all so much. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Aisha Always. And also, if you haven't already, if you are viewing on YouTube, make sure to like this channel, not like this channel, like this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, Aisha Always TV. Um, if Even if you're viewing on Facebook, go over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Aisha Always TV. Tell your daughters, your sons, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your aunties, your mom, your daddy. Tell everybody, hey, go subscribe to Aisha Always TV. She's coming up with this good content, this podcast, Lux Avenue, the podcast. Again, Lux Avenue has nothing to do with a dollar sign, material things. It is simply living our best lives to our God given capability. Um, because to me, that's a true luxury, right? So, go subscribe to my channel. And last few things, if you are interested in being a guest on Lux Avenue, the podcast, of course, I'll post the link again. I'm gonna post it every Monday after we get off the live here, but I'll post the link to the form to fill out. It's just a quick, simple form, just so I can have. I'm not trying to be all fancy and stuff. Excuse me. It's just so I can keep everything in a database, um, to be organized. Hello, 2023, new me. Organized Aisha, okay? Or if you don't find the link, can't find the link, just send me a quick email to this email right here on the screen, Lux Avenue, the podcast at gmail.com, saying, hey, AJ, hey, sis, I would love to be on your podcast to talk about mental health, faith, or, whatever it is you want to talk about. I welcome you, right? And then last but not least, if you have not already, as you can see, let me stand up real quick for you. Well, no, I don't feel like standing up. That's too much. But as you can see, I have on Lux Avenue, the official emblem logo hoodie. If you would like one, yes, they are unisex. Guys, don't let the Lux Avenue thing deter you from joining over here, becoming a Lux Avenue resident. I am female, so a lot of my content is catered to females, but can be applied to men as well, right? So you can go over to my website, which is on this side of the screen here, shop at luxavenue.com, and you can pick up. I have this hoodie. These are embroidered, by the way. Very nice, honey. Um, you can pick up this hoodie from my website. I got sweatshirts with the emblem embroidered on the left chest. For my ladies, I have some nice silk robes, honey. Baby, let me tell you something. That robe is as soft as I don't know what. You hear me? I love that thing. I can sleep in it all day if I wanted to. But yeah, go check out my merch. I don't have my hat on today, of course. I know I like to wear my Lux Avenue hat, but I got this big nest on my head tonight. Um, so you can get a hat off my website, or just check it out and let me know what you think of the website, right? And what you think of my merch. So again, this is the Lux Avenue hoodie, the official logo emblem. It is embroidered and it is soft. Oh, it feels so good, so good. And other than that, like I said, if you want to be on the podcast show, just send me a quick email to Lux Avenue the podcast dot no at gmail.com, or you can wait until I post the link to this little short form after we get off the live here. And other than that, guys, I thank y'all for tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Aisha Always TV. And that's it, guys. That's it. Like I said, I don't like to be before y'all long, but we're gonna get straight to the point and we're gonna cut out of here. Again, we go live every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Make sure you tell everybody you know. Hey, it's Monday. It's Lux Avenue the podcast day, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, YouTube and Facebook. Okay. Thank y'all again for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. We're going to grow and go through this journey together. And yeah, that's it, guys. Grace and peace.